Welcome to Sexpertease. I'm your host and favorite sexpert, the Erica Rivera. On this show, we talk honestly about intimacy, relationships, and sexual health. Our goal is simple: keeping marriages exciting and single people safe. Today, we're diving into something that often gets overlooked in conversations about intimacy. Many people think intimacy is built on attraction, chemistry, or passion. And those things certainly matter, but they are not the foundation that sustains connection. What truly allows intimacy to deepen is emotional safety. Without that safety, even the strongest attraction can begin to feel unstable or overwhelming. Emotional safety is what allows us to relax into connection rather than constantly protecting ourselves. It's the feeling that we can express our needs, our boundaries, fears, and desires without being dismissed or judged. When emotional safety is present, intimacy grows naturally. When it's missing, relationships can feel confusing, anxious, or fragile. Emotional safety is the feeling that you can show up as your authentic self without fear of ridicule, punishment, or rejection. It means your thoughts and feelings are taken seriously, even when someone disagrees with you. You you know that expressing your emotions will not lead to humiliation or manipulation. That's the sense of safety that allows honest communication to develop. Emotional safety in relationships are when both people feel comfortable expressing vulnerability. They can admit mistakes, they can ask for reassurance, or share concerns without walking on eggshells. Safety does not mean there is never conflict. It just means that conflict can happen without damaging the core respect between partners. Emotional safety, when it exists, people stop performing and they are connecting. They don't have to constantly monitor their words or hide parts of themselves. Instead, they feel seen, heard, and valued. That environment makes deeper intimacy possible. Most people understand the concept of physical safety in relationships, right? We recognize the importance of protecting ourselves from physical harm or violence. Emotional safety, however, is sometimes harder to define. Yet, emotional harm can be just as damaging to our well being. Emotional safety protects our psychological and emotional boundaries. It involves respect, empathy, and responsible communication. When emotional safety is missing, people may experience anxiety, shame, or self doubt. Over time, that stress can deeply affect mental health and relationship satisfaction. Healthy relationships, they require both physical and emotional safety. One without the other just creates an imbalance. Emotional safety is what ensures that intimacy feels supportive rather than threatening. It allows people to open their hearts without fearing emotional injury. Don't get me wrong, chemistry can feel powerful and exciting at the beginning of a relationship. That spark of attraction often creates a sense of urgency and intensity. However, Chemistry alone does not guarantee emotional safety. In fact, sometimes intense attraction can distract us from noticing unhealthy patterns. Many people confuse excitement with compatibility. They they are not the same. They assume that if the attraction feels strong, the relationship must be right. But emotional safety develops through consistent behavior over time. It's built through trust, through communication, through mutual respect. So while chemistry can start a relationship, it's safety that sustains it. Long-term intimacy depends on stability rather than constant intensity. So when partners prioritize emotional safety, the relationship becomes a place of support rather than unpredictability. Let's talk about our nervous system, right? This is a big one. Our nervous system plays a significant role in how we experience relationships. When we feel safe, the body relaxes and becomes receptive to connection. Our brain shifts into a state where empathy, communication, and emotional bonding become easier. This is when intimacy truly can flourish. However, when emotional safety is missing, the nervous system can shift right into survival mode. We may become defensive, withdrawn, or even hyper alert to potential threats. Even small disagreements can feel overwhelming in that state of survival. The body responds as though it must protect itself. Healthy intimacy requires a regulated nervous system. So we can't have all that stuff going on, all right? Emotional safety is what's going to help our bodies understand that connection is not dangerous. When we feel secure, we are more capable of listening, more capable of understanding, as well as expressing affection. That calm foundation supports long-term relational health. One clear sign of emotional safety is open communication, my favorite topic. People feel comfortable sharing their thoughts without fearing immediate criticism or dismissal. Even difficult topics can be discussed calmly, believe it or not. So that openness is what builds trust over time. Respect is another key indicator of emotional safety. Partners value each other's perspectives, even when they disagree. They avoid insults, manipulation, or emotional punishment. Respect creates a stable environment for connection. Emotionally safe relationships also allow room for vulnerability. People can admit their fears, they can admit their mistakes or their insecurities without shame. Some of you are probably nodding like this is a rarity. Maybe you're right. But in this case, when conflict occurs, partners work toward repair rather than blame. Doesn't that sound nice? This repair process is what strengthens trust and continues to deepen intimacy. That's what it truly means to be emotionally safe. When emotional safety is absent, relationships can feel tense or unpredictable. People may find themselves constantly monitoring what they say. They worry that their honest expression will trigger anger or some kind of rejection. And if if your relationship continues in that sense, then over time, it'll just continue to lead to emotional exhaustion. Another warning sign is frequent criticism or dismissal. When concerns are minimalized or mocked, people then stop sharing their feelings. They begin to internalize the idea that their emotions are inconvenient or they're wrong. That dynamic completely erodes trust. Emotional withdrawal often follows when that safety disappears. Individuals may shut down, they may avoid difficult conversations altogether, or they just detach emotionally. Without intentional effort, the relationship can slowly lose its sense of connection and warmth. We also experience past trauma. So past experiences, they often shape how we perceive emotional safety. So I can tell you until I'm blue in the face what it means to be emotionally safe, but sometimes what we experience is that's what's going to shape how we view emotional safety. Individuals who have experienced trauma may become more sensitive to potential threats within a relationship. Their nervous system may react very strongly to certain behaviors or certain communication styles. This response is not weakness, but a protective adaptation. Trauma can create challenges in building trust. People may struggle with vulnerability or fear abandonment. These reactions are often rooted in previous emotional pain or emotional injury. Understanding this context helps partners respond with empathy rather than with frustration. Healing involves learning new patterns of safety and connection. With patience and communication and support, individuals can rebuild trust in their relationships. Emotional safety becomes an important part of that healing journey. Now, as people heal and grow emotionally, their relationship standards will often change. Behaviors that once maybe seemed acceptable maybe start to feel uncomfortable. This shift reflects an increased self-awareness and stronger boundaries, of course. That growth encourages individuals to prioritize their emotional well-being. You may be in that stage now. Healing can also improve communication skills. So people learn to express their needs a lot more clearly and they listen more attentively. This creates healthier relationship dynamics. Partners who support that growth contribute to emotional safety. Over time, individuals begin seeking relationships that feel stable and supportive. That's all part of that healing process. When you've started to really heal, it shows in it just, like I mentioned, you start to not accept certain things that you used to accept. And so drama and unpredictability, they lose their appeal. Emotional safety becomes a core requirement rather than the optional luxury. This evolution strengthens long-term intimacy. Communication plays a central role in emotional safety. Honest conversations allow people to understand each other's perspectives. When partners feel heard, they become more willing to share openly, and this openness strengthens trust. Listening without immediate defensiveness is a very important skill. When someone shares a concern, the goal should be understanding rather than winning an argument. Validation does not always mean agreement. It simply acknowledges that another person's feelings matter. Empathy deepens emotional connection. When partners make an effort to understand each other's experiences, that safety increases. This supportive environment encourages deeper intimacy and mutual respect. I know I sound repetitive, but it's all about having that mutual respect. Desire. Desire is often influenced by emotional safety as well. And we've talked about desire before in previous episodes. So feel free to click back to some of those where we really dive deep into just that topic of desire. But desire is often influenced by how safe we feel emotionally in our relationship. So when individuals feel secure in a relationship, they're more comfortable expressing affection and attraction. Emotional trust encourages openness around sexual needs and sexual preferences. This creates a more satisfying, intimate connection. Stress and anxiety can significantly impact libido. If a relationship feels emotionally unstable, the body may prioritize protection rather than pleasure. This is a natural response, and it can make intimacy feel extremely difficult or forced. So, when emotional safety is present, desire becomes more relaxed and authentic. That's what you're looking for. Authenticity. That's what you want to feel, is that you're not losing that authenticity. People feel free to explore intimacy without fear of judgment. That environment supports a healthy and evolving sexual connection. As people age, which we spoke about this during last week's episode, as people age, their understanding of intimacy often evolves. Emotional connection becomes increasingly important in sustaining relationships. Many individuals discover that emotional safety matters more than external expectations. This shift can deepen relationship satisfaction. With age comes greater self-awareness. People develop a clearer understanding of what they want, their needs, their boundaries, their desires, and this awareness allows them to seek relationships that align with their values. Emotional safety then becomes a guiding principle. Confidence gained through life experience can also strengthen intimacy. Individuals become more comfortable communicating honestly, and this openness supports meaningful connection and long-term relational health. Building emotional safety requires consistent effort from both partners. Let me repeat that. Building emotional safety requires consistent effort from both partners. This can't be one-sided. A lot of people, there's this misconception that you can save a relationship completely one-sided, and you can't. You can't. It requires the effort of both or plural. Trust develops when actions align with words over time. Reliability. Reliability creates a sense of stability within the relationship. Keep your word. This consistency allows people to relax into connection. Respecting boundaries is another one. Respecting boundaries is an essential component. Boundaries communicate personal needs and emotional limits. So when they honor these boundaries, trust deepens. Ignoring boundaries, however, can quickly erode emotional safety, just like that. Accountability also plays a critical role. Everyone, everyone makes mistakes, okay? Everyone, myself included. Everyone makes mistakes in relationships. Even the educators I've had on this show, the relationship therapists I've had on this show, we are all going to make a mistake once in a while. The willingness to acknowledge those mistakes and repair harm strengthens emotional trust. Repair demonstrates commitment to your relationship's well-being. Even strong relationships experience moments where emotional safety is disrupted. Conflict, misunderstandings, or hurtful actions can create distance between partners. It's even the strongest relationships go through that. What matters most is how these moments are addressed. Repair is an essential part of healthy relationships. Repair begins with acknowledging harm. So that's the first step, is acknowledging that harm has been done. Secondly, it's taking responsibility for mistakes, which shows respect for the other person's experience. When you take responsibility, you're respecting that other person's experience. Avoiding blame or defensiveness helps rebuild trust. Genuine accountability creates space for healing. Trust takes time to restore once it has been damaged. Okay, it really does. Once it's been damaged, you're going to need patience because it takes a lot for that trust to be restored. And consistent changes in behavior demonstrate the commitment to improvement. Over time, those types of actions can reestablish emotional safety and strengthen the relationship. So hope is not lost. You just have to remain consistent once that trust maybe has been damaged and you're trying to regain that again. Emotional safety is literally the foundation that allows intimacy to grow and endure. While attraction and chemistry can spark that connection, that's not everything. That's not what's going to keep a relationship going. It's safety. Safety is what sustains it. Relationships thrive when people feel respected, when they feel valued, when they feel heard. Without that emotional safety, even strong attraction can fade over time. Building emotional safety requires communication, empathy, and accountability. These skills strengthen trust and create space for vulnerability. When partners prioritize emotional well-being, relationships become much more resilient and fulfilling. So, as you reflect on today's topic, consider this question. Do the relationships in your life feel emotionally safe? Even the ones that are not romantic. That awareness can guide healthier connections moving forward. If you enjoyed today's conversation and you want to help keep Sexpertease on the air, you can support the show on Patreon. Patreon supporters help make this program possible and get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content and monthly after-show insights. You can also reach out if you're interested in booking a one-on-one consultation with me or applying to be a guest. Thank you so much for watching Sexpertease. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. We have a special guest next week, so make sure to tune in.